I have got some sad news for all of the internet wrestling community. And that is that Nia Jax's wrestling return has been cancelled. I don't know how all you guys are going to cope with this. I know you all must be heartbroken. But actually, this is actually pretty bad for the company that was booking her, that being Wrestling Entertainment Series, who I've already made 2 videos on, and their situation is just going from bad to worse with their show coming up in 2 weeks' time. Let's talk about Wrestling Entertainment Series for potentially the final time, because I honestly didn't know there'd be enough things to happen again for me to make a video about them, but even more has happened with this company. Let's go ahead and recap everything that has happened so far with Wrestling Entertainment Series and the absolute journey that this company has just been on already. So the former AOP, who were former tag champions in WWE, they recently came back from retirement or came back from their hiatus and announced the Wrestling Entertainment Series, their brand new wrestling company, which will be running its debut show in Nottingham on June 6th in a 10K arena. And they announced this about 3 weeks before June 6th without a card even announced. A very ambitious marketing strategy, to say the least. However, then the card would come out, and it included Braun Strowman, Adam Scherr against Alistair Overeem, the UFC fighter, for the World Championship, Nia Jax versus Lana, Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green versus The Influence, Kalisto versus Jonah versus Killer Cross, and just many more matches were announced for the show. However, it was then exposed that apparently the show isn't happening anymore, with Chelsea Green saying that the show has actually been cancelled, and then the next day, Wrestling Entertainment Series would come out and say, oh hey, the show is actually postponed to July. From here, Tennille Dashwood and Deonna Purrazzo would both publicly make statements pulling out the show, with Deonna Purrazzo saying the entire process has been frustrating to say the least, and put postponed in quotation marks. So if this show is still even happening, we still don't even know yet. But right after they announced the postponement, they just did no promotion of the show. Literally, Wrestling Entertainment Series weren't announcing or confirming that there's people not making the shows and people pulling out the shows. They weren't confirming their replacement. They weren't doing any sort of promotion for this show that is taking place once again in a 10K seat arena. But finally, Wrestling Entertainment Series has broken their silence, and they have just an entirely new card. Let's look at it top to bottom. On the pre-show, you have Levi's Valenzuela Jr. versus Jody Fleisch, which is really cool. Jody Fleisch is on the show. He's an awesome British wrestler, been around for over a decade, one of the OGs of the British scene. He was originally meant to be facing Fandango, was Levi's Venezuela, but he's clearly pulled out. And the other pre-show match has been changed. It's not happening anymore for some reason, which was meant to be Mike Bennett and Biff Busick. It's now Eric Young versus Zack Zodiac, who is Paige's brother. You might remember him from Fighting With My Family. Then for the opener, you have Dean Mutardi, aka Mojo Rawley, now against Big Damo Mackey, or Mackle as it says on this website. I stand corrected, it is actually Damo Mackle. The whole time I thought it wasn't. It was originally going to be Dean Mutardi against Lince Dorado, but now Lince Dorado is facing Samurai Del Sol, aka Kalisto, who was meant to be in a triple threat match with Killer Cross and Jonah. So that match just isn't happening anymore either. For the women's tag titles, we have Steph DeLander, aka Persia Pirotta, who recently got released from NXT. She's back, and she's teaming with Anastasia against the She-Wolves. So the She-Wolves, by the way, are Casey Owens and I believe Molly Spartan, who are 2 fantastic British women's wrestlers. So again, it's really cool that they put some British people on this card, at least some British wrestlers, but these are 4 completely new people. The match originally was Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green against Tennille Dashwood and Madison Rayne, and now that all 4 of them are just gone. Then for the tag championships, we have AOP, or Legion of Pain as they're called now, against BT Gunn and Kez Evans, sorry. Again, more British people, but it was meant to be Steve Macklin and Weston Blake. they're gone as well now. Then for the Women's World Championship, it's Lena Fanine versus To Be Determined, because CJ Perry, aka Lana, clearly isn't on the show anymore. And in the main event, it's Alistair Overeem versus Moose for the World Championship. That's right, Moose. Adam Scherr has clearly pulled out the show as well. He's not on it either. They have lost so much of their card. It is ridiculous. So it's just gone from bad to worse for them, really. Oh, and hey, guess what? Lena Fanine versus TBD. It's no longer that. It's now TBD versus TBD. Because when Wrestling Entertainment Series returned to social media and finally posted this announcement, Lena Fanine quote tweeted it and said, "Unfortunately, I'm not appearing on this show anymore." So Nia Jax is not even appearing on the show anymore. And I know a lot of people don't like Nia Jax on the internet. I personally like Nia Jax. And even if I didn't like Nia Jax, she was maybe the only interesting thing about the card. Like, the fact that she's returning to wrestling, I would have watched that. I would have watched it, I would have made content on it, but it's not happening anymore. Nia Jax isn't returning to wrestling, probably period now, that she's not appearing on Wrestling Entertainment Series, and that's a shame. So I have no idea who they're gonna book for this. I assume maybe they'll just get some women's wrestlers from the scene, or maybe they'll just get people from the tag match and make that like a fatal four-way or something instead, rather than having women's tag titles. They were so overly ambitious with this card, and yeah, everyone's just pulled out, and even Nia Jax is gone now, which is a shame. Her return has now been cancelled, so we're not going to see Nia Jax wrestling anymore, which I was really excited to see, and I was planning on going to this show, and to be honest, I don't think I'm gonna go anymore. I always said that I'm gonna wait till like the day before to buy a ticket, just in case it gets cancelled. But I'm not gonna go at all, and I'm still doubting that this show is even gonna happen. If it happens, I'll watch it, and maybe I'll do a review on it if it's interesting enough. But it's just lost so much spark, this show. I was really excited for it, actually. It looks so interesting. But it's just got weird now. It's just got really dodgy. I also told in the last video the story of how I was in contact with AOP's management to do an interview with them about the show, and they stopped responding to me. And then the very next day is when Chelsea Green posted about the show being cancelled, and they posted their postponement announcement. So it's all really dodgy. If there is one consolation though, it's really cool that She-Wolves, Damo, Zach Zodiac, Jodie Fleisch, BT Gunn and Kez Evans are all on the show. Really great getting some really talented British wrestlers on the show. That was one of my suggestions in the last videos, that they should have used some more local talent. And it's really good that they've actually gone out, searched for some, and picked some good ones as well, which is, yeah, they made some good choices with the UK talent. And if this promotion is to last, and if they want to run more in the UK, if this is going to be a UK promotion, they need to use the local pool of talent. They can't rely on these big names forever, and they especially can't with how they definitely have not sold many tickets, because I can't imagine how much money they're making from this show. Again, I can't stress enough how they're running a 10k seat arena. But yeah, if you want me to watch the show and do a review on it, I very happily will. I'm not going to go to it though. I'm not traveling to Nottingham for it, because I just, for some reason, don't really have trust in this show anymore to deliver what they are advertising, because they're still advertising Lena Fanine when she just pulled out. Like, yeah, let's see how it goes. But that's it for me on this video, guys. I'll see you all soon. Goodbye, and keep on rolling.